Choosing a car isn't just about design or power. It's a long-term financial decision where reliability is the difference between predictable costs and constant trips to the repair shop. In a market saturated with technological promises, many models prioritize impressive figures over actual durability. The result is often greater complexity, more potential points of failure, and unexpected maintenance expenses. This ranking isn't based on marketing or trends. It relies on reliability, mechanical simplicity, and real-world performance. These aren't the fastest or most technologically advanced cars, but they are the ones that age best and cause the fewest problems over time. Honda Fit, the underrated one that never gives up. The Honda Fit has proven for years that reliability doesn't depend on size or price. Its simple mechanics, low-stress naturally aspirated engines, and automatic transmissions calibrated for durability make it one of the city cars with the lowest rate of structural failures. It's not fast or sophisticated, but its mechanical architecture tolerates intensive use, repeated short trips, and basic maintenance without deteriorating quickly. Honda made a fundamental decision with the Fit not to compete in power or cutting-edge technology, but to create a city car that could withstand the most demanding conditions of daily use. The L15 series engines that power the Fit feature moderate compression ratios, flat torque curves, and valve trains that prioritize simplicity over extreme efficiency. This means that every internal engine component operates well below its thermal and mechanical limits, resulting in less accumulated wear. The Fit's CVT transmission, often criticized for its lack of sporty character, is deliberately calibrated to minimize stress on the belt and pulleys. Gear changes are smooth, acceleration is progressive, and the system avoids holding high RPMs for extended periods. This conservative approach drastically reduces the likelihood of failure in a component that, in other vehicles with more aggressive CVTs, is often a source of problems after 100,000 kilometers. In urban fleets and light delivery services, the Fit racks up mileage with a regularity few rivals can match. The suspension is designed to absorb bumps without transferring critical impacts to the structure, and the powertrain doesn't operate at its limit. It's a car that doesn't surprise, and precisely for that reason, it rarely ends up in the shop with serious breakdowns. Data from delivery fleets in Latin American cities shows that the Fit maintains availability rates above 95% in continuous operation, with maintenance intervals limited to oil changes, filters, and predictable wear items such as brake pads and tires. Critical failures in the engine, transmission, or electrical systems are statistically lower than those of direct competitors such as the Nissan Note, Chevrolet Spark, or Ford Fiesta. A frequently overlooked aspect in reliability analysis is the durability of secondary components: door hinges, seat adjustment mechanisms, climate control systems, and power locks. In the Fit, these elements are dimensioned with safety margins that exceed minimum specifications. The door hinges maintain their original alignment after hundreds of thousands of opening and closing cycles. The climate control system motors operate quietly and without any loss of efficiency for periods exceeding segment standards. The quality of the interior plastic materials, while not premium, is optimized to resist degradation from UV rays and temperature. They do not fade prematurely or develop cracks with prolonged sun exposure, a common problem in similarly priced vehicles that use lower-density polymers. The Fit avoids unnecessary electronic systems. It doesn't have complex touchscreens, infotainment systems with multiple layers of menus, or driver assistance systems that rely on sensors calibrated with critical tolerances. This apparent lack of modernity is, in reality, an advantage in terms of reliability. The Fit's electrical systems are based on architectures proven over decades. The control modules have very low failure rates. The wiring harnesses are protected from vibration and moisture with redundant designs, and the connectors use materials that do not corrode prematurely. In humid or saline climates, where other vehicles develop intermittent electrical problems that are difficult to diagnose, the Fit maintains its operation without disruption. One of the factors that defines a vehicle's true reliability is not only the absence of breakdowns, but also the predictability and cost of its maintenance. The Fit requires simple scheduled maintenance with components that don't require specialized tools or complex procedures. The oil, air, and fuel filters are accessible without disassembling multiple parts. Spark plugs are changed without removing the intake manifold. Suspension components are replaced with standard tools. This simplicity reduces labor costs at repair shops and allows owners with basic mechanical knowledge to perform some preventative maintenance. Unlike European vehicles in the same segment, which require brand-specific scanners to reset service indicators or calibrate systems, the Fit operates with standard OBD2 protocols that any repair shop can interpret. The Honda Fit isn't a vehicle that inspires passion or graces the covers of automotive magazines. It doesn't accelerate impressively, nor does it have a design that commands attention in parking lots. But it fulfills a function that few modern vehicles achieve. It functions reliably every day in any condition without fail. For users who prioritize dependable transportation over status or excitement, the Fit represents one of the most rational options on the market today. Hyundai Elantra, silent durability. The Elantra of recent generations doesn't boast sportiness, but it does offer mechanical reliability. Naturally aspirated engines with conservative power curves, torque converter automatic transmissions and electronics without experimental solutions mean it ages better than many more technologically ambitious rivals. Hyundai spent decades building a reputation as a budget brand with questionable quality and durability issues. Models from the 1990s and early 2000s had failure rates that placed them among the least reliable on the market. However, the brand's strategy shifted dramatically in the mid-2000s. Instead of competing on technological innovation or radical design, Hyundai decided to focus on conservative engineering, rigorous testing, and extended warranties to support its new quality philosophy. The modern Elantra is the result of that transformation. Its naturally aspirated four-cylinder engines, available in displacements from 1.6 to 2.0 liters, utilize technologies proven over years in other markets before being implemented in mass production. There are no turbochargers to increase thermal stress, nor high-pressure direct injection systems to generate carbon deposits on intake valves. These are engines that operate with wide safety margins, where every component works well beyond its limits. In real-world use, it maintains stable operating temperatures even in heavy traffic, and its cooling system is designed to withstand demanding climates. It doesn't stand out for its driving feel, but in terms of overall reliability, the Elantra ranks as one of the compact sedans that requires the fewest unexpected trips to the repair shop. Hyundai's decision to retain torque converter automatic transmissions in the Elantra when many competitors migrated to CVTs or dual-clutch transmissions proved to be a significant advantage in terms of reliability. The 6- and 8-speed transmissions in the Elantra are based on mature designs, with converters sized for efficient heat dissipation and planetary gear sets that don't operate at the limit of their tolerances. The gear changes are smooth but not instantaneous, prioritizing the longevity of the internal clutch over sportiness. The adaptive control system learns the driver's style and adjusts shift points to minimize wear. In heavy traffic, where dual-clutch transmissions generate excessive heat and prematurely wear out the clutches, the Elantra's traditional automatic maintains controlled temperatures without requiring any intervention beyond scheduled maintenance. Hyundai designed the Elantra's cooling system with margins that exceed the engine's strict requirements. The radiator has a larger heat exchange surface than the minimum necessary. The thermostat operates within conservative temperature ranges, and the water pumps are built with sealed bearings that resist contamination from degraded coolant. In extremely hot climates, where smaller displacement engines work harder to maintain highway speeds with the air conditioning on full blast, the Elantra keeps temperatures within the normal operating range without constantly activating the auxiliary fan. This reduces thermal stress on critical components such as head gaskets, valve seals, and piston rings, significantly extending engine life. The Elantra incorporates modern technology but avoids experimental systems that haven't yet established a reliable track record in the market. The touchscreens are responsive, but there are no multi-core processors that generate excessive heat or complex operating systems that require constant updates. The control modules are modular, allowing for the replacement of individual components without having to replace entire systems. The driver assistance system sensors are calibrated with redundancies to prevent false alarms or unexpected activations. Unlike more sophisticated systems that can lock up or require recalibration after battery changes or minor electrical work, the Elantra's electronics maintain stable settings. Elantras used in rental fleets and private transportation services exhibit durability patterns that surpass competitors like the Nissan Sentra, Volkswagen Jetta, and Chevrolet Cruze. After 150,000 kilometers of mixed use, reports of critical failures are 30% lower compared to the segment average. Suspension components maintain their original geometry, engine mounts do not develop premature cracks, and electrical systems do not experience intermittent failures that are difficult to diagnose. The interior ages evenly, with no rattles or vibrations appearing over time. The seats maintain their structural support, the electric locks operate flawlessly, and the climate control systems don't develop refrigerant leaks or odors from moisture buildup in the evaporator. The Elantra's reliability is reflected in its total cost of ownership. Resale values remain more stable than those of competitors with higher reported failure rates. Insurance premiums are lower due to fewer claims for mechanical breakdowns. Preventive maintenance is inexpensive and predictable, with no unexpected issues arising outside of scheduled intervals. For an owner planning to keep the vehicle for 8 to 10 years, the Elantra represents a safer investment than options with greater brand prestige, but a less proven track record of reliability. It's not the most exciting sedan nor the best handling on winding roads, but it's one of the least likely to leave its owner stranded or generate unexpected repair bills. Mazda 3, careful engineering without overloading the mechanics. Mazda prioritized mechanical efficiency without resorting to overly complex systems. Its naturally aspirated Skyactiv engines operate with high compression ratios, but are designed for durability, not maximum power. This reduces prolonged thermal stress and extends the engine's lifespan. Mazda's Skyactiv technology represents a different approach than most modern manufacturers. While the industry has largely shifted to smaller displacement turbocharged engines, Mazda has maintained larger displacement naturally aspirated engines operating at high compression ratios. Skyactiv G engines operate at compression ratios between 13:1 and 14:1, figures that in conventional engines would cause knocking and require high-octane fuel. However, Mazda managed to implement these compression ratios without compromising durability by optimizing the combustion chamber shape, precisely controlling multi-stage fuel injection, and using exhaust systems that reduce back pressure. The result is engines that generate power similar to turbocharged competitors, but without the additional components that increase complexity and potential points of failure. Turbochargers, intercoolers, wastegate valves, and boost pressure control systems. The chassis is rigid, the suspension ages evenly, and the build quality minimizes vibrations that over time often lead to peripheral failures. It's not the cheapest to maintain, but it's one of the least prone to problems in the long run. Skyactiv engines operate at more controlled temperatures than equivalent turbocharged engines. A 1.5-litre turbocharged engine producing 180 horsepower experiences exhaust temperature peaks exceeding 850 degrees Celsius, accelerating the degradation of catalytic converters, oxygen sensors, and exhaust gaskets. The naturally aspirated 2.5-litre Skyactiv engine, which generates similar power, maintains exhaust temperatures below 700 degrees Celsius under normal operating conditions, significantly extending the lifespan of these components. Furthermore, the absence of a turbocharger eliminates problems associated with lubricating and cooling this component. Turbochargers require high-quality oil, strict change intervals, and cooling periods after heavy use to prevent deposit buildup on the turboshaft. The Mazda 3's naturally aspirated engines do not have these additional requirements. Mazda has invested in improving the build quality and body rigidity of the Mazda 3. It uses structural reinforcements in critical areas that reduce torsional flex, minimizing vibrations and noise over time. The suspension is designed to maintain its geometry and tolerances for years, with sealed bushings and ball joints that resist degradation from contaminants and do not require frequent lubrication. The interior materials age predictably: plastics that don't degrade in the sun, fabrics that resist fading, and panels that maintain their tight fit. The paint offers good UV resistance thanks to controlled layering processes, reducing microcracking and oxidation. The technology is functional without being overly complex. The multimedia system is stable, and the driver assistance systems operate consistently, with sensors calibrated to prevent erratic activation. Maintenance costs are predictable, with readily available parts and reasonable service intervals. The Mazda 3 isn't the cheapest or the most spacious, but it maintains its mechanical and structural integrity even at high mileages without requiring major repairs. Toyota Hilux, designed to survive abuse. The Hilux's ruggedness isn't accidental, it's by design. Its ladder-frame chassis, reinforced suspension, and engines tuned for low-speed operation allow it to withstand conditions that would compromise comfort-oriented vehicles. This architecture, heavier than a unibody, offers clear advantages when structural durability is paramount. The high-strength steel frame rails are designed to absorb dynamic loads and torsion without permanent deformation. The suspension mounting points feature reinforcements that distribute impacts and reduce structural fatigue. The suspension prioritizes shock absorption without transferring damage to the chassis, using corrosion-resistant springs, higher-capacity shock absorbers, and high-density bushings that resist mud, water, and contaminants. Diesel engines are tuned to deliver torque at low RPMs, reducing thermal and mechanical stress. By operating away from high speeds, the lifespan of bearings, pistons, and injectors is extended. The transmissions, especially the 6-speed manual, are designed to withstand sustained loads, with clutches offering ample safety margins and internal components engineered for heavy-duty use. The Hilux avoids unnecessary electronic complexity. Its electrical system is protected against dust, moisture, and vibration, with sealed connectors and reinforced harnesses. Fewer modules and sensors reduce the likelihood of failures in harsh environments. It's a benchmark vehicle in construction, agriculture, and remote operations because it maintains its functionality in dust, humidity, extreme heat, and poor road conditions. It can be serviced in conventional workshops with globally available spare parts and aftermarket options that ensure operational continuity. It's not a pickup truck focused on comfort or luxury. Its value lies in its ability to work consistently day after day in demanding conditions with a below-average structural failure rate. For environments where reliability is an operational requirement, the Hilux remains a benchmark in its segment. Subaru Impreza, all-wheel drive with a focus on durability. Subaru's permanent all-wheel drive is designed to distribute mechanical loads evenly, rather than focusing on performance figures. By continuously sending power to both axles, it reduces localized wear on the transmission, axles, and differentials, resulting in a longer lifespan for the entire system. Unlike systems that only engage the rear axle when there is slippage, the symmetrical AWD system distributes torque constantly, with either a balanced or variable distribution depending on the transmission. Boxer engines offer a low center of gravity and reduced longitudinal vibrations. This minimizes stress on engine mounts and peripheral components such as the alternator, air conditioning compressor, and sensors. While not the most fuel-efficient system, it provides superior mechanical stability when durability is prioritized over sporty performance. The torque distribution between both axles reduces the load concentrated on the front axle, extending the lifespan of constant velocity joints, bushings, and ball joints, as well as promoting more even tire wear. In low-traction conditions, all-wheel drive mechanically improves stability, reducing the intervention of the stability control system and the associated brake wear. The Impreza's CVT transmission is calibrated to prioritize smoothness and thermal control. Its cooling system maintains stable operating temperatures in heavy traffic or on long inclines, and the electronic management system adjusts the gear ratio to prevent overheating, contributing to greater overall durability. Subaru applies comprehensive anti-corrosion treatments to the underbody, joints, and internal cavities, helping to preserve chassis integrity in humid climates or when driving on salty roads. This reduces the occurrence of structural corrosion over time. The all-wheel drive system requires slightly more maintenance and results in a slightly higher fuel consumption than front-wheel drive vehicles. However, these costs are predictable and are offset by greater stability, less localized wear on components, and more consistent mechanical performance over the long term. The Impreza isn't known for sportiness or peak efficiency, but it maintains its performance and robustness under adverse conditions for years, with a structural failure rate below the segment average. Toyota Yaris, well-executed simplicity. The Yaris is a prime example of engineering focused on durability. It uses small, naturally aspirated engines between 1.0 and 1.5 litres, calibrated to deliver ample power without operating near their limits. Torque curves are progressive, compression ratios are moderate, and variable valve timing systems operate within conservative ranges. This reduces thermal and mechanical stress, allowing the engine to maintain its performance for extended periods without major overhauls. In urban driving, where cold starts and short journeys put a strain on more complex engines, the Yaris demonstrates consistent reliability. The lubrication system uses low-viscosity oils that circulate quickly when cold, and the thermal management system accelerates the engine's arrival at operating temperature, reducing initial wear and oil contamination. The CVT transmission has been refined generation after generation. It uses a high-strength metal belt, pulleys with low-friction coatings, and a cooling system designed for heavy traffic. Its calibration prioritizes smooth operation and avoids holding the engine at high speeds for extended periods, which reduces thermal stress and prolongs the life of the transmission. The electronics are deliberately simple. The instrument cluster and multimedia system perform basic functions without complex processors or resource-intensive software. Fewer modules and fewer connection points reduce the likelihood of electrical faults and facilitate diagnosis and repair in conventional workshops. The chassis uses McPherson struts at the front and a torsion beam axle at the rear, solutions proven over decades. They don't offer the greatest refinement, but they age predictably, with clear maintenance intervals and no premature noises. The interior materials prioritize resistance to degradation from use and sun exposure, and the physical controls are designed to withstand heavy use. Maintenance costs are low, spare parts are readily available, procedures are simple, and components are widely accessible. It's not a vehicle focused on excitement or cutting-edge technology, but it fulfills its core function, providing reliable, economical, and predictable transportation for years, with one of the lowest major failure rates in its segment. Toyota Corolla, the standard of modern reliability. The Corolla isn't a leader in design or innovation, but it became a benchmark for one clear reason. It's designed to be virtually trouble-free. Toyota prioritizes reliability over peak performance or technological experimentation. Its engines operate with wide safety margins, far from the thermal and mechanical limits reached by many modern turbocharged engines. This reduces internal wear and allows for a long lifespan without major overhauls. The transmissions follow the same logic. Conventional automatics prioritize smoothness and thermal control over quick shifts, while the CVT direct shift incorporates a physical gear to reduce belt stress during low-speed acceleration, a traditional weakness of this type of transmission. The result is above-average durability for the segment. In heavy use, such as in fleets and taxis, the Corolla accumulates high mileage with below-average breakdown rates. It's not indestructible, but its engineering reduces the likelihood of costly and unexpected failures. In 2026, it remains one of the few models that truly lives up to the nickname Eternal. The electronics employ proven solutions. The multimedia system is functional and stable, the control modules utilize mature architectures, and the driver assistance systems are calibrated to operate without erratic activation. This reduces electronic failures and diagnostic costs. In manufacturing, Toyota applies strict quality controls, tight assembly tolerances, protection of electrical harnesses against vibration and moisture, and comprehensive anti-corrosion treatments on the body and chassis. These details reduce noise, play, and structural degradation over time. In addition, the global availability of spare parts and a broad aftermarket make it easy to keep the vehicle operational in almost any region. The Corolla also maintains above-average resale values for the segment, reflecting its reputation for reliability. It's not the fastest or the most technologically advanced, but it fulfills a key function, providing reliable, predictable, and low total cost of ownership transportation for many years. In a market dominated by novelty, the Corolla continues to demonstrate that conservative, proven engineering ages better than fleeting trends. Ultimately, reliability isn't a matter of luck, but rather the result of conservative, time-tested engineering decisions. Choosing a car that ages well reduces costs, avoids unexpected problems, and makes the driving experience more predictable over the years. In a market where technology advances rapidly, durability remains a timeless value. If you found this helpful, please support the channel with a like and subscribe for more data-driven content, real-world comparisons, and clear explanations about which models to choose and which ones to think twice about. Turn on notifications so you don't miss upcoming rankings and analyses of the automotive market.